Hey, what's up guys, Totallydubbed here, and today I'm making a video on Battlefield Hardline, or what we like to call Battlefield Hardline. On this, it will be my thoughts and opinions of the actual franchise Battlefield. It will also be my opinions and thoughts of the beta, and that also includes core gameplay and the actual way the game works. So a little introduction to this is a beta, so obviously it's not a finished game, so all these opinions are based on a beta. That said, when we compare Battlefield 4 beta to the actual Battlefield 4 release, they were very much similar indeed. So I would not be surprised if this game kind of reflected on how the actual end product would look like. I should note that DICE are not the developers on this game, which is a good and bad thing at the same time. The good thing about that is the fact that DICE can concentrate their energy on an actual Battlefield release, and the bad thing is that you don't get that same development that you used to get. So this game is titled Battlefield, but with that said, my honest opinion of this game is the fact that they have just labelled it Battlefield in order to get sales, which isn't always a bad thing, but when it comes to someone like me, which has been playing Battlefield for over 7 years, or possibly other people who have been playing for Battlefield for many more years than me, they'll be quite disappointed to find this game is quite literally a carbon copy of Battlefield 4, but with a police and robbers theme to it, which really reflects how Call of Duty was. Kind of cops and robbers, you get certain objectives, run around and gun. Not much emphasis on the vehicles or anything like that. In fact, there's not much emphasis on shooting through walls or anything like that. There are Levolution events which are utterly ridiculous, and that is that crane, as you saw previously, drop down. And that crane basically shakes your whole screen no matter pretty much wherever you are on the map, like someone is having a seizure. But anyway, there are certain Levolution events which I'm sure they'll carry through on the other games, but as it is right now, that is the only thing we have on the map called High Tension. Anyway, continuing with my impressions of the actual franchise, I think EA are doing themselves a huge disservice by publishing this as a Battlefield game, and the reason behind that is because they just want to try and get the easy marketing sales. They don't really have to do much when it comes to marketing it. They just say, hey, it's Battlefield, hey, join the Battlefield. When in reality, if this was a standalone product and not Battlefield, then it would have been a little bit more acceptable by the community. The only reason I say that is because as someone that plays Battlefield or has been playing Battlefield as their primary FPS game, I feel that this game really doesn't reflect what the true Battlefield games used to be. Unfortunately, this is becoming the case since Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. The franchise is pretty much going in the wrong direction, and by that I mean they're making it more and more like Call of Duty. Run and gun, short space, more emphasis on infantry, quick respawns, less emphasis on vehicles, less emphasis on the map itself as well. There are still huge elements of the Battlefield in this game, but that said, I still do feel that it is missing that same feel that I had when I was playing Battlefield 2142 on the PC. But anyway, that is my opinions on the franchise, as my subjective opinions on the franchise and what I think is going on with Battlefield. But now let's move on to the game itself, Hardline. How does this game play? Well, this map is quite centered. You've got two game modes that you can choose from the time being. And one of them is called Blood Money and the other one is called Heist. So the one you're going to be seeing right now is called Heist. Essentially, there is two vaults or two cars that have just crashed, and essentially all you're going to do is try and defend it or attack it. Once you place the bomb to open up the objective, so to speak, which is quite easy to do, then you have access to these briefcases, or whatever they are, packages. Then you have to take these packages to the objective. So it is pretty simple, as in it sounds pretty simple on paper, but as an attacker it's actually quite challenging. And the reason why it's challenging is because of the placement of these packages. They're placed very closely together with loads of cover on either side. Therefore, as a defender, as you'll be able to see now, I'm quite literally camping at the objectives and waiting for anyone to pop by and I can just snipe them. This is really bad map design or game mode design on EA's part, simply because I really think that this game mode would really turn alive if those two packages were nowhere near each other. It would create even more teamwork and even more rush the objective type gameplay. It's a bit like Rush on certain game modes on Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. You have a really bad map design on some of them, and therefore the objectives go really quickly. But on other maps, you have the objectives spaced out really well together, and therefore it creates a nice open platform. So Hardline is good, but also bad at the same time. You do have a nice new objective, a different feel to it, but with that said, the game mode, at least on Heist, I felt that could be improved. It could be down to the map, but either way, it could be improved. I like the principle of this game mode, it is quite nice. Get the objectives, or blow the objectives off, get the objectives, take them to the objective marker. It's quite fun, I must say. Blood Money, on the other hand, is something I really dislike. It is very much a camp fest. If there's any game mode that I've ever thought of, this would take the cake in terms of camp fest. Essentially, you have a money pile that is centered in the middle, and all you do is get the money from there and then take it to your base. Now that might sound pretty easy and pretty simple. You might think, where's the camping involved in that one? Well, the camping is involved where the money pile is actually located. Yet again, the money pile is located somewhere where there can be campers all over the place, and they've got rooftops, and the rooftops are not easily accessible only if you've got a chopper. So it is really badly done in that respect. I found that they didn't really think it through where they put the money pile, and all it is literally just taking money, running it to your base. If you've got a decent squad, then this game mode will pretty much end in literally 5 minutes, as you can either steal straight from their vault, or go and steal money from that money pile and take it to your base at very fast pace. Considering each of you could be carrying a maximum of 500k at a time, you can get through that game mode very quickly in a good squad. It's nice to see squad play, but in the same respect, it is quite annoying that the game ends really quickly if you've got a really good squad. I know it sounds kind of contradictory, but I think they could have improved on that in terms of the game mode design. So my thoughts on the actual gameplay of Hardline is it could be improved. There's a lot of potential in this game, and I feel that EA could really capitalize on this by releasing this beta about 5 months before it should be released, or something ridiculous like that. It's good that EA have taken that approach. In other words, you can play this game much before release, and it gives the developers loads of time to improve the game and fix loads of problems. There could be balancing issues or something like that, whatever it is. I gotta say, balancing wise, they've still fucked over the sniper class yet again. A close range shot, upper body shot gives you 97% damage, doesn't give you 100%. I have no fucking idea why EA are still doing this. It just pisses me the fuck off each time I play as a sniper, and when I say each time, that means every time. I pretty much play as a sniper because I prefer it. It for me denotes a lot of attention and quick reactions, which I love playing in FPS games, not just a spray and pray with any other weapon. But anyway, moving on to the actual impressions of the beta, and by that I mean the core game, not the core gameplay, but the actual how the game plays. I've got to say, the FPS of this game has been horrible. At some points I've been dropping to single digit FPS, and I'm running SLI 680s. Now I appreciate it's probably not optimized on everything like that, but bloody hell EA, you could have done a bit of a better job in that respect. Sometimes when you are, some people might be aware that when you are using active protection on Battlefield 4 and you're somewhere close to someone and you shoot with explosive rounds, you drop to 8 FPS or even 7 FPS. There's the same case on this when you have a heavy armored vehicle. You shoot someone reasonably close range and you're going to be dropping that at a single digit mark. It is absolutely ridiculous, and it's something that they should fix, but knowing EA, they probably won't fix it because they couldn't give a crap. The tick rate on this game and the netcode generally is absolutely horrendous. I have no idea why EA have taken this approach. What they should have done is gone via the CTE, Battlefield 4 CTE improvements, and based the game on this, or at least start developing on this. My guess is that they've been developing this game for a while before CTE or any of the higher tick rates were introduced, and that means that we are playing on essentially what Battlefield 4's release game netcode was on. Hopefully you're able to see in this video there were certain points where I just literally got shot from weird places. Look at this, I just randomly teleport over here. So yeah, there are still random crap that goes on, and that really pisses me off. Again, as playing as a sniper, you really want the accuracy, you want to have the positioning, the real positioning of that player, and unfortunately this is not the case on Hardline. Again, this is a beta, but that said, you still have to expect a beta to be stress testing out the servers and the game as much as possible. On a 32-man, yes, it cut to 32-man gameplay, and at 10 Hz tick rate, you're not going to be really stressing out a game. It's really, again, a marketing move by EA to make people try it. So I've got to say, overall, my impressions of Hardline are disappointing. I really didn't enjoy what EA have done. I do like the game modes, and I do like the title as a standalone, but not as a Battlefield game, and not as an FPS game that has a lot of core gameplay problems. Anyway guys, I've been Totallydubbed. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Make sure you rate, comment and subscribe. Take care. Bye bye.